Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another beautiful topic. 9 things that every woman or most women wish you did during knacking. There are a lot of things that men do wrong during knacking, or there are a lot of things that women are expecting from their partner, from their husbands, from their boyfriend, but we actually do not get it, and sometimes we find it difficult to sort of explain or start telling you. So I'm going to be their mouthpiece today and tell you the things that a woman would want you to do during knacking. Now, when you adhere to these 9 things that I'm going to be listing out, you will get better at sex. You will do better in what you know how to do best. You please her more, you make her more happier. In fact, she will enjoy it more with you, and you're going to also add more spice to your relationship, to your connection, to your romance. The thing is, when it comes to knacking, it's just basically sex. You just go in and then you pound and you get to the peak, she gets to the peak, and that's it. Now, there is more to it. If anything can be monotonous, it is not sex. And when it becomes monotonous, it feels tiring and boring. So no matter the love you have for each other, to an extent it will start get tiring and boring. If you do not add spices, if you don't do different things, there are a lot of things that are involved when it comes to the moment. There are things that you can do to spice up the moment, and these 9 things I'm going to mention are things you can literally do, different things you can do, or things you can incorporate in one activity, and you get a mind-blowing result. Number 1 would be pay attention to non-verbal signs during knacking. Non-verbal signs are the things they do or the things that happen around them, but not saying it out. Some women are vocal, and sometimes they can actually tell you what to do or tell you what you're doing wrong, but sometimes some men are not attentive and they don't pay attention. They don't really attach so much meaning to the non-verbal cues that women are portraying, and a lot of women complain about that, saying that their men neglect or ignore their non-verbal cues. I always talk about communication, and I'm sure that I have talked countless times on the non-verbal cues, on how to communicate. That communication during knacking is not all just about talking. It's not all just about, are you good? Do you like it? What are you doing? Communication is not just talking. Even in real life, in reality of things, someone can ask you, how are you? And you can reply, well, I'm just there, by not saying a word. These are ways of communicating. You didn't spit a word, you didn't open your mouth, but just expressions, and you were able to communicate to the other party and they understood you perfectly fine. So when it comes to the moment with your partner, as a man, you need to be responsive. You need to be attentive to the non-verbal cues, the signs that they are showing. You will be respected more. You will be valued more when you do this. So along with verbal expressions, you should pay attention to their heavy breathing, the moaning, the twitching of the body, the facial expression, even the increased lubrication during the moment. All these things are things you should pay attention to, and in this way they are communicating to you. Now, when there is increased lubrication, that means there is something you did, or there's a way you trusted that made that happen. So you should pay attention to what you did. In that way, you're trying to understand her, you're learning her body and what her body enjoys, or how her body reacts to different activities or different things you're doing, so that next time you can revisit it. The moaning can be a painful one, it can also be an enjoyable one. So when she is moaning or making sound in a way that says she is in pain, you should be able to read the cues and stop. And when she's doing the sound that feels like pleasure, you should know, and also know what you did that made her make that kind of sound or breathe heavily, so that you revisit it or you do not visit it again if it's something that causes pain. Now, for women to get to the peak I don't want to be calling what it is to get to the peak. It is usually more of repetition than variation. Men may love variation, but most times for women to get to that height, it is usually repetition. So this is when you find out what you did that caused this excitement, so that you keep repeating it. Because when you change and you want to add another variation, it puts the body off, it puts the mood off, and it changes things, and it may not be enjoyable. One thing is that if you can't interpret the signs, you can be vocal enough to ask, do you like that? Do you enjoy that? Does that feel good? Does that hurt? So your partner may have been too shy to tell you, and she would appreciate that you asked. Because once you ask, she will give you a reply. So if you can't read the verbal cues that they are sending, you can go all vocal and ask. You will be appreciated when you do so. Now, there are some acts that you want to do or try on your partner, but because you're not sure how she will react to it, consent is sexy. So you can seek for consent. You're going in and out, and then from the backside, you want to try explore that area. And it is not something everyone would want to explore. So you can't just go and do it with your own thinking that she will enjoy it. So you need to seek consent and ask, would you want to explore this? And when you're giving a go ahead, then you can. The second one is foreplay and afterplay. And a lot of men may think that knacking is just all about going in and out. No. For women, foreplay and afterplay is actually more important, especially foreplay, than going in and out. I have asked a lot of women this, and most numbers said they appreciate it more, or they enjoy it more during the foreplay and also afterplay than the main course. But men are more focused on just the main course, not paying so much attention to afterplay and foreplay. It takes time for a woman to get ready. It is easy for a man to just see his partner, he is ready, or just remember the last time they had fun and he is ready, his body is ready. But for a woman, due to their hectic lifestyles, or for the fact that they are women, and most women have tamed themselves that they can only make their body ready for someone they love. You need to attend to her body very well, and that is what you're doing when you're doing foreplay before the main course. And foreplay can include a lot of things that you do, the preambles that you do before the main act starts. And after the act, a lot of men just go ahead and feel like, oh, she came, I came, and that's okay. You do not practice afterplay. You think that it is enough, the show has ended. It hasn't really ended there. Afterplay doesn't really take much, and it doesn't take much time, and there's nothing much to do. But when you avoid afterplay, a lot of women feel neglected and abandoned, and they feel that all you just wanted was just to go in and out, and then you're happy, you're satisfied, and you're good, that you don't really care so much about them. But when you engage in afterplay, they feel special and they feel that you care so much about them. So it tells them that you care about them very well. Even the foreplay can actually start days before. It could be text. You can start it via text. So you're already building tension or building some image in her head, and it's getting her body ready. Then afterplay can actually be discussion and talking about the activity that just happened, how you both enjoyed it, or what you didn't enjoy. It could just be discussion that is a little bit different from what just happened. It could be taking a shower together. It could be cleaning up after oneself. It could be sleeping together, or discussing or having a conversation, lying down on your chest, and then you're discussing while maybe the both of you fall back asleep. So afterplay is really nothing much, doesn't take much, but not immediately the action is done, you neglect her, she will feel neglected. You just go and wash up yourself all by yourself, come back and doze off, or just go ahead on the phone and you start talking with your body, neglecting the person you just had fun with. Number 3 is exploring commonly ignored spots. When you pay attention to her body, when you explore the commonly ignored spots, it is very easy for anyone to just go ahead and this is not an ignored spot. It always plays a part. Where you do the main act is not an ignored spot. The two twins in front is not an ignored spot at all. But there are commonly ignored spots that we ignore, we don't pay attention to. That when you actually pay attention to that, the woman feels special. There's this spot. I'm going to write it on the screen. I can't even mention it. It could be the both of you exploring. Though some will not want you to use to go in there, some don't like it, but a lot would like it. That you go in there with your hand. It could be an agreed something that you go in, we want to find where it is. It could be something the both of you will agree and explore. When you think that you're going in deep, that you're going to hit, no, it is very close and you may not even actually be hitting it. So that spot may have been ignored for a very long time. Ear can be an ignored spot. The neck, her back or lower back, the thighs. These are commonly ignored spots you can play around with. It shows her that you care about and you worship her body. Number 4 is playing dirty talk. A lot of women would want to know that they are turning you on. So many of them would want to engage into dirty talk with you. It could be a mild one, it could be a very, very dirty one. It's something you can do via text, it is something you can do in person, but it is sweeter when you do it via text. So it doesn't always have to come in play when you're about to do the do. So you may feel like, oh, when you're about to do the do, you do all things possible to get her to be in the mood just to satisfy yourself, but when you're done, you're out. So sometimes even out of the blues, you can get to converse in dirty talk and talk naughty things to each other that may not lead to you having an intimate moment together. It makes her feel special. It makes her feel like you love to have conversation with her, and that dirty talking with her, that in that way she gets you turned on and that it's something you enjoy. So it could be dirty, it could be descriptive, it could be romantic. You just have to try out different things to know which works best or the best response you get from everyone you're doing, so that you know the one to keep going with. The next one is worship her, not just her. Worship her, not just worship the big O. A woman wants to be sensually stroked and caressed, not grabbed. When you grab her, she feels like a tool or a piece that you pick up whenever you want and dump whenever you're done making use of it. So let's take, for example, maybe the way you fumble here or the way you grab it feels like you're just grabbing a piece of clothes. It may feel like you're grabbing a meat. It may feel sort of disrespectful to a woman. So you worship her body and any parts that you want to play or fumble with. So you tend to eat with care, because if you've noticed that your woman is always like, whenever you go there and they're always like taking out their body, it may be that the way you're doing it is not nice. So you have to worship it, caress it. And sometimes the way you handle her, she may feel that the only concern you have is just to make her reach the big O, and she will just feel like a rump that you pick up, use when you like, you dump. That's just the goal. She wants her body to be worshipped and not just you trying to make her to achieve the big O. Focusing on achieving the big O is not a problem, but when it's just your only focus, you don't worship her or worship her body, it feels like you have an ego, and your ego is too much for you to appreciate the woman that she is. The next one is prioritize her big O. I know we just talked about not focusing on, but that's when you just focus on it and not worshiping, then it feels like your ego is higher than the love or the respect you have for her. And then aside that, we're talking about prioritizing the big O. Now, women achieve the O multiple times, and 70% of women actually get to the peak via stimulation than you going in and out. It is just very few of them that like 30%, gets to the peak when you go in and out. A lot of them achieve the big O more when you do this, and most times men do not pay attention to this. We think it's all about just going in and out. So you have to, if you prioritize her achieving the O, you should know your woman if she achieves the big O by this or by this. So if it's by this, you have to carefully play with it, walk your way, and I don't want to just dive deep into explaining these in detail because it's going to be an issue, but you know what I'm talking about. So you have to explore and find out what makes her achieve the big O and exploit. The next one is make her feel pretty. Women would love and appreciate it when you make them feel pretty, and it is easy to make them feel pretty. Making them feel pretty doesn't mean you have to do makeup on them. Just keep reminding them of how beautiful they are, how they are the most beautiful woman that you can have. So it is as easy as just occasionally telling them how beautiful they are. Maybe you see them in a very kind of unique outfit or new outfit or different kind of style you've not seen them before. You can be like, wow, you look so pretty, or you're so beautiful, or you look dashingly beautiful this morning. So it's something you can just be telling them once in a while to keep reminding them that you appreciate their beauty and they keep getting more beautiful each day and you can't get tired of their beauty. This shows a woman how much you adore and respect her. So she loves it when you keep complimenting her this way. Men actually love it too when they are being complimented, but we don't compliment them enough. But talking about women, this is one thing that a woman would want you to do. Make them feel pretty. And it is easy. It is easy to do just by giving them compliments here and there, reminding them how beautiful they are. Number 8 is be spontaneous during knacking with her. And what I mean is by exploring and doing different things, like being intentional. Sort of, you can just go out and when you're coming back, you buy a bouquet of flowers and gift her. This is also telling her how you adore her, how much you love her, and how much you think about her. What is in her head is the fact that you went to buy something, you saw flowers or teddies, and then you had her in mind. She didn't need to be there present with you for you to remember that she exists. It makes her feel adored. It makes her feel worshipped. And another thing can be buying them lingerie, buying hose, socks. Maybe when you go out, you just see these cute outfits and you think of her and then you decide to buy it. It's going to make her to be intentional whenever she goes shopping. She has seen that you love this kind of things. You love her looking sexy, dressing sexy. So she will be more intentional when she goes to shop for her inners. And she would want to shop around the kind of things you got her, knowing that these are the kind of things you like or the kind of things you like to see on her. And that shows how pretty you see her. For you to buy such garments or outfits shows that you would love to see, or you know how sexy she can look or how good she will look in these outfits, and then you thought of her and you bought it. So it's going to also help her to be intentional when doing her own shopping. And the last but not the least is pay attention outside of knacking. Pay attention outside of sex too. Paying attention outside of sex could be you going out and getting her flowers, getting her teddies. You're not getting it because you want to knock her or have sex with her immediately. You just thought about her and then you bought it. Like I've explained before, it makes her to realize how much you love and adore her or worship her. Then it can also be giving her listening ears. Women really, really love and appreciate it when their men are giving them listening ears, when they are having a discussion with you and you're really paying attention. After a week or 2 or months pass by and something relating to what she told you comes up, and then you narrate the scene or you still see something she has said, you will tell her that you actually listened to her. Or just her looking at you, and when she's having a conversation with you and she find out that you are a good listener, that in fact, as simple as that, being a good listener is another thing. Women love it when you're a good listener. Now, if I'm having a conversation with my partner and I notice that he's just like, or on his phone chatting away, I kind of feel sad. I won't continue that conversation again. And if anything comes up and you're like, oh, what you were saying, I'll be like, you were not listening, so I'm not repeating it again. I won't be happy about it. So this is another great point that you will add to what you want to do for your woman, or what women really want you to do, but sometimes they won't tell you. And here comes to the end of the video. Tell me the ones that you've explored before and how did it turn out. And I'm going to see you next time on the next one. Bye. But before then, share this video with someone that will find it helpful.